Good morning, good evening, good whatever it is, wherever you're watching this. David Feldman-Makrias back with you. And conversions versus all conversions. What does that even mean? And why is it the secret to maximizing success? And why am I revealing it? So, it's really just a standard case of focusing on the really important things that matter versus the things that still matter but aren't necessarily the most important. It's important to focus on things that matter, right? But there's different classifications on what matters most. It's prioritizing. That's all this is. Conversions are valuable for any digital business, especially when running Google Ads or even Meta Ads or any digital advertising. A conversion is important, but there are some conversions that are more important than others. And this video is all about defining them for the automotive industry. And again, you can apply that same logic for whatever industry you're looking at. So here's my methodology and my take on it. Check this out. Running some data, first through the 15th of April compared to March. We have all these columns, all these metrics to look at, right? And we're live inside one of the accounts that I manage. My team manages. Got to include the team. Got to include the team. It's not all about you, David. Okay, so what do I want to look at? Well, look at these two columns. And I've made videos about this before, but we're defining exactly the things that matter the most. For example, any automotive person watching this video, what matters most? A customer that, needs follow-up and hasn't been in the store yet, or the customer that's right, imagine you're at your desk, right? Salesperson's at their desk. What matters most? The customer that needs that phone follow-up that you've been chasing around for a while, or the customer that is in your showroom right now and looking around for a salesperson because they have a question about the car? Probably should know that the person right in front of you is going to be the bigger priority, and you can get back to the other person that you needed to make that phone follow-up with later. Now, to get the sale, right? So, with that being said, they're both important. And how does this relate to our conversation? Well, imagine the conversion column as my person in the showroom needing help. And my all conversion column is that phone follow up that I need to make. They're both important, but we need to tell Google which one's the most important right now, right? And that's where these two come into play. So, conversions shows the number of conversions you've received after an ad interaction, such as a text ad, click, video ad, whatever. Okay. This part here is important. Smart bidding optimizes the conversion in this column. When I go to all conversions, it doesn't say that. It says the total number of conversions that Google Ads measures. It's in your conversions column plus additional data, such as conversions that are marked as secondary. Okay, it's primary conversions, secondary conversions. Primary, those are the people in the showroom. Those are the ones we want more of right now. All conversions, those are secondary. Those are the important things, the phone follow-ups and all the things we have to do, but they fall by the wayside in priority when there's a deal potentially right in front of us. Okay, so I want to show this Ford example because you can see some of the drastic differences. We have 1,000 conversions for what campaign is this? Brand Ford, but only 14.66 primary conversions. Okay. Brand name, 2,500 conversions. Wow. Cool. But only 80, which actually is kind of good, 80 primary conversions. Bronco, 628 all conversions, but only 4 primary. Let's look at the Bronco because it's effectively a new model. Okay. So I got my handy dandy doc here because it's just easier to blur things out. This is the same thing. We're looking at the same date. It's the same account. You could actually see the cost is 227.58. And then if even the cost, 227.58 here, you can see in this time frame, 227.58 in the live account. I just want to show what the breakout is. Check this out. All conversions. shows 628.64. That 0.64 is because Google doesn't attribute one ad to one conversion, right? It's data driven attribution. Don't worry about the 0.64. You can't have 0.64 of a view or something. It's Google's rounding. Just play it off at that. But you had 629 of those and 4 primary. Okay, what are we talking about? So check this out. Store visits, we're not counting as primary, but we're counting. I just don't find it a reliable metric, so I don't use it. ASC form engagement. We're counting this as primary. That's someone getting to a form, not necessarily filling it out though, but they get to the form and they're on the form. We did our job if they're getting to the form. It's the website form's job to close on that. The marketing did its job, right? We can't go and sell the car for you. We're all judged on sales, but we can't sell the car. That's form engagement. Look at this. CTA interaction. What is that? That's someone clicking on a button. Happened 28 times from the campaign. But we're not counting that as primary, right? We like to know how many times it happened, but we're not counting that as far as what we want Google to focus on. Button clicks are great, but we don't want Google to focus on that. We want Google to focus on the hard stuff. Getting to a form, 2. Clicking to call, 2. Those are the things we want. Okay, let's go down the line for all conversions. You see this one, all conversions, 561. What is that? Media interactions. What is media interactions? Someone going through pictures, someone going through videos on the VDP or SRP of your vehicles. It's great. We love that. We love the engagement. That's like someone on the lot looking around, whatever. Yeah, we want those. But do we want Google to buy them? No, not right now, not in this campaign. Not in this campaign, right? So we want to track them, but we don't want Google to focus on them. Okay. Click to call. Someone actually clicking to call. We want Google to focus on those. And guess what? They're observed too. They count in the total number, right? We want more of those. Basically, you can think of this column as we want Google to focus on these versus we want more of these, but we don't necessarily want to spend money focusing on it, right? Certain campaigns have different objectives. This is a low funnel, like search for Bronco price, like Ford Bronco price, Ford Bronco for sale, Ford Bronco near me. We want that low hanging fruit. That's why we're only going for form engagements and calls. But if we had like a display ad for Bronco and we just want people to click and view the car, well, then our primary might be a media interaction. But right now, it's not. It's the campaign and keyword dependent. We don't want the campaign to optimize just for people looking at videos and looking at pictures in this campaign. The reason why we segment it by campaign is because we can control the budget. Every campaign you have in Google, you set the money to. So imagine if we had all of these that we're tracking, as we want Google to get more of all of these. Well, Google will go, okay, interesting. Okay, I'm going to focus on getting a lot of these because that makes my campaign look good and that's what the user wants. So I'm going to focus on getting a lot of those. But if you get a lot of those, you might not get a lot of these, which are the click-to-calls or the form engagements. So in this campaign, we want Google to focus on the lowest hanging fruit possible. Then after we do that, we need something to feed that lowest hanging fruit. Then we get into more campaigns like display or things like that, where you're going after button clicks and you're going after media interactions. It's all about prioritizing the actions you want, but you need more of, again, the apple tree. You need more of the lowest hanging fruit. Once all that fruit is had, go back up. Go up the apple tree, right? I've talked about this before. I'm talking about it again. Conversions versus all conversions really comes down to what we want Google to focus on, what we still want to track, but don't necessarily want Google to focus on. Google can only focus just like a human. We can only focus on so many things at once. Google's powerful. Artificial intelligence engines are powerful, but you have to steer them. A car is a powerful tool, but guess what? It doesn't mean anything without the driver. We need to be the driver of our ads. These are ways to do it. If you'd like more ways, keep watching content on this channel, please. And let me know in the comments how you prioritize conversions or if you have any questions. Thank you so much, David Feldman-Makrias. Talk to you again.